What if I told you there's a way to walk where falling becomes physically impossible? Not harder to fall, not less likely. Impossible. I know that sounds absurd, especially if you've been living with that constant knot of fear every time you step outside alone, or if you've already had a close call that shook your confidence to the core. But stay with me, because what I'm about to show you contradicts everything you've been told about balance and aging. This isn't about walking slower or being more careful. It's about a specific walking pattern that engages your body's natural anti-fall system. A system most women over 60 have accidentally turned off without even knowing it. In the next 15 minutes, you're going to learn exactly how to activate it again. Just like Barbara, 71, who went from gripping her daughter's arm every time she left the house to hiking uneven trails by herself within 6 weeks.
Thank you, dear.
No special equipment, no complex exercises. Just one simple shift in how you move. Let me start by telling you about Margaret. She's 67, lives alone in a 2-story home she and her late husband bought 30 years ago. Margaret used to love her morning walks around the neighborhood. She'd wave to neighbors, stop to admire gardens, feel the sun on her face. But 2 years ago, something shifted. She started feeling unsteady on her feet. Not all the time, just enough to notice. A wobble here, a moment of dizziness there. Then came the day she missed a step going down her front porch. She didn't fall all the way, but she grabbed the railing so hard her hand was bruised for a week. That was the beginning of the end of her independence. Margaret stopped taking walks. She held onto furniture when moving through her own home. She started declining invitations because what if she had to navigate stairs at someone else's house? What if the floor was slippery? Her daughter offered to move in, and Margaret felt a crushing weight of guilt. She was becoming exactly what she'd feared most, a burden. She told me through tears that she'd started thinking about selling her home, the place filled with every memory of her marriage, just because she couldn't trust her own body anymore. If any part of Margaret's story resonates with you, I want you to know something right now. That fear you carry every single day, that hypervigilance when you're walking, that loss of freedom, it's not your fault, and it's not inevitable. But here's what you need to understand. The medical system has failed you on this, completely. You've been told that balance naturally deteriorates with age. You've been handed a cane or a walker and sent on your way. Maybe someone mentioned exercises, but nobody explained why you're actually losing balance in the first place. And in just a moment, I'll show you exactly why most people never fix this. But first, you need to see what's really happening in your body. Your balance doesn't come from one place. It comes from 3 systems working together like an orchestra. Your inner ear tells you where you are in space. Your eyes give you visual references. And this is the one nobody talks about. Tiny sensors in your feet, ankles, hips, and spine send constant messages to your brain about the surface beneath you and where your body is positioned. This is called proprioception. When you were younger, this system was so sharp, so responsive, that you never thought about it. You could walk on gravel, on grass, on wet tile, and your body adjusted instantly, automatically. But here's what happens as we age. We start walking differently. We become more cautious. We take smaller steps. We look down more. We tense up. And when you walk like that, you stop sending strong signals through those proprioceptive sensors. It's like the communication line between your feet and your brain gets fuzzy, filled with static. Your brain stops getting clear information about where you are, so it can't make the tiny micro-adjustments that keep you stable. You start to sway more. You feel unsteady. And the cruel irony is that the more afraid you become, the more careful you walk, the worse your balance gets. You're stuck in a vicious cycle, and nobody's telling you how to break it. Now let me tell you what most people get completely wrong about fall prevention. The standard advice is to walk more carefully, take smaller steps, go slower, use support. Every single bit of that advice makes your balance worse, not better. I need you to hear this. Careful walking is destroying your stability. When you take tiny, shuffling steps, you're not challenging your balance system. You're shutting it down. Think about it this way. If you wanted to keep your arms strong, would you stop lifting anything heavy? Of course not. Your muscles need resistance to stay strong. Your balance system is exactly the same. It needs to be challenged, stimulated, activated. Otherwise, it atrophies. The second thing people get wrong is thinking that dizziness and unsteadiness are inner ear problems that require medical intervention. Sometimes, yes. But for most women over 60, the issue isn't your inner ear. It's that your brain has stopped trusting the signals from your feet and legs because those signals have become too weak and inconsistent. Your brain defaults to relying on your vision instead, which is why you feel so unsteady in the dark or on uneven surfaces where you can't see clearly. You're trying to balance with only one system instead of three. So what actually works? What is this walking pattern that makes falling nearly impossible? It all comes down to reactivating your proprioceptive system and forcing all three balance systems to work together again. I'm going to break this into 4 key elements, and by the end, you're going to understand exactly why this works and how to do it yourself. First, heel-to-toe contact with intention. When you walk, your heel should strike the ground first, with enough pressure that you really feel it. Not stomping, but firm, deliberate contact. This sends a strong signal up through your leg to your brain saying, here's where the ground is, here's where I am in space. Then you roll through your foot, feeling your arch, the ball of your foot, and finally pushing off with your toes. Most women over 60 have started walking flat-footed or barely lifting their feet. Every step becomes a mumble instead of a clear message. When you return to deliberate heel-to-toe walking, you wake up thousands of sleeping sensors. Second, longer strides than you're currently taking. Not giant steps, but longer than the safe, tiny steps you've been trained to take. Here's why this matters. A longer stride requires your hip muscles to engage. It requires your core to stabilize your body. It requires your brain to coordinate a more complex movement. All of that challenge is exactly what your balance system needs. Think of it like this. If you only ever whispered, your vocal cords would weaken. You need to speak at full volume to keep them strong. Your walking stride is the same principle. Third, eyes forward, not down. This is hard, I know. You've been looking down to watch for obstacles, to make sure you're stepping safely. But when you look down, you eliminate one entire balance system. Your visual system can't give your brain horizon references and spatial information when you're staring at the ground 3 feet in front of you. You need to train yourself to look forward at eye level. Trust that your feet will feel the ground. At first, this will feel terrifying. Do it in a safe space, but do it. Quick note, if you want all of this laid out for you step by step, I put together a complete guide called the Fall-Proof Walking System. Everything you need in one place. Check the pinned comment below and grab it. Fourth, and this is the element that makes everything else work, variable surfaces. Your balance system gets strong when it has to adapt. If you only ever walk on flat, smooth floors, your proprioceptive system has nothing to respond to. You need to intentionally walk on different surfaces: grass, gravel, slight inclines, carpet, then tile, then wood. Each surface change forces your feet and ankles to adjust, forces your brain to process new information, forces your entire balance system to stay alert and active. Let me tell you about Diane. She's 73, and when she first came to see me, she'd fallen twice in 6 months. Nothing broken, thank God, but the fear had taken over her life. She stopped going to her book club. She stopped volunteering at the library. She made her son install grab bars in every room of her house. I taught her these 4 elements, and I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that within 3 weeks, she called me crying. Not sad crying, happy crying. She'd walk to the mailbox and back, on her slightly sloped driveway, looking forward the entire time, and she felt completely stable. For the first time in 2 years, she felt like her body was working with her instead of against her. 3 months later, she took her grandkids to the park and walked on the wood chip path without a single moment of fear. She told me she'd gotten her life back. That's not an overstatement. That's what happens when you stop compensating for weak balance and start rebuilding it. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds too simple. Or maybe you're worried that trying this will actually make you fall. Let me address that. Start in your home. Walk down your hallway using these principles. Heel to toe with intention, longer strides, eyes forward. Feel the difference between the bedroom carpet and the kitchen tile. Do this 10 times a day. Once that feels stable, and it will, faster than you think, take it outside to your driveway or a quiet sidewalk. Then progress to slightly uneven surfaces. You're not throwing yourself into danger. You're systematically rebuilding a system that's been asleep. And here's the beautiful thing. Your body wants to do this. Your brain is hungry for clear proprioceptive signals. The moment you start sending them, your balance will begin to improve. Not in months, in days. Let me give you 5 specific steps you can start applying today, right after you finish watching this video. Step 1. Practice heel-to-toe walking in your hallway for 2 minutes. Slow is fine. Focus on really feeling each part of your foot make contact with the floor. Roll through from heel to toe with intention. If you're afraid of falling during this, lightly trail one hand along the wall. Not gripping, just trailing for psychological comfort. You won't need it for long. Step 2. Measure your current stride. Walk normally and notice how far apart your feet land. Then intentionally add 6 inches to that stride. Yes, it will feel long. Yes, you'll feel a bit vulnerable. That feeling is your balance system waking up. Do this for just 1 minute, 3 times throughout the day. Step 3. Practice looking forward while walking. Pick a spot on the wall at eye level. Walk toward it without looking down. Your feet know how to walk. Your brain knows where the floor is. Trust it. If this feels too scary inside your home, your balance fear is more psychological than physical, which means you'll progress even faster once you build confidence. Step 4. Walk on 3 different surfaces in one session. Carpet to tile to wood, driveway to grass to sidewalk. The transitions are where the magic happens. Those moments when your foot lands on a new texture, your entire proprioceptive system lights up. That's exactly what you want. Step 5. Do this every single day, not 3 times a week, every day. Your balance system needs consistent input to rebuild. 10 minutes a day of intentional walking will change your life more than an hour at the gym once a week. I want to tell you quickly about Ruth. She's 69. After 4 weeks of walking this way, she went on a weekend trip with her sister. They walked through a historic downtown with cobblestone streets, uneven sidewalks, and crowded shops. Ruth told me she didn't think about falling once. Not once. She was present, laughing, enjoying her sister, living her life. So here's where you are right now. You have a choice in front of you. You can close this video and go back to walking the way you've been walking. Careful, tentative, afraid. You can keep holding on to furniture, keep declining invitations, keep feeling that knot of anxiety every time you need to navigate stairs or walk across a parking lot. Keep carrying the fear that one bad fall will take away everything. Keep worrying that you'll end up depending on your children, losing your home, losing your independence. That's one path, and it's the path most women over 60 are on, not because they want to be, but because nobody showed them another way. Or you can choose the other path. You can start today, right now, rebuilding the balance system you were born with. You can walk with confidence again. You can go outside alone without fear. You can navigate uneven ground and slippery floors and stairs without that spike of panic. You can stop being hypervigilant and start being free. You can keep your independence. You can stay in your home. You can live without the crushing guilt of feeling like a burden. You can be the woman who inspires her friends instead of the one who's too afraid to join them. That version of your life is completely available to you. It's not far away. It's not out of reach. It starts with how you walk. Everything I just shared and more is waiting for you right now in the pinned comment below. Click it. Get the complete guide, because you deserve to walk through this world without fear, and your family deserves to stop worrying every time you leave the house. Don't wait. Your strongest, most stable days are still ahead of you, and they start the moment you decide to take them back.